Power on. Select your players.
Pierre, Sarah, Glenn.
Select your topic.
Games.
Select your format.
Entertaining podcast.
They're called the Button Boys. So make some fucking noise. 'Cause they're gonna talk about video gaming and stuff.
Button Boys.
Hello and welcome to the Pierre Novelli Show with your host, Sarah Keyworth. I'm Glenn Moore. And you're watching or listening to Button Boys. Guys, thank you so much for joining me once again. How are you both doing?
Pretty good.
I'm stuck on the introduction in terms of logistics. The Pierre Novelli Show with your host, Sarah Keyworth. I'm Glenn Moore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
What's happening there?
Wait, who's Glenn Moore?
That's me.
Oh, right, okay.
I guess the narrator and you're...
Oh, what's my role in all that?
You're doing a show about me. But I have no control over it.
It's an expose.
It's an expose, yeah. Hiding in plain sight.
A literal
the Pierre Novelli
expose
story.
where I just take an item of Pierre's clothes off every week.
Yeah.
With no warning.
We've got to get these episodes done because winter is coming.
Speaking of winter coming, our voices are husky as hell.
You're listening to Husk Pod.
This is a sexy pod now.
It's Sexy Pod. And I think Pierre and I have excuses, I guess, because at the time of recording, we got back from the Edinburgh Fringe last night. You have been to the seaside.
I have been screaming since you got on the train.
Get back here!
No! Yeah. No, I went to the seaside 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And my throat...
A seagull stole your voice.
A seagull stole my voice. Yeah. Now that's a game.
That's such a video game curse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Speaking of games, what have we all been playing? Who wants to go first?
I have started just this week Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
Yes!
Nintendo.
Congratulations on your Switch.
Thank you very much. She's doing well.
How?
Yes.
The princess or the console?
Oh, the console. Yes, the baby's healthy. Yeah.
How are you finding it? This was obviously such a huge turning point in gaming when it came out in 2017.
Well, I immediately got Stardew Valley on the Switch, got very addicted to it. Yeah, in quite an attached way. Like, it's not healthy what's going on. Yeah. I'm very attached to my cows. Really attached to those cows.
Are you still in springtime?
Oh no, I'm in year 3.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's been a lot. Actually, I've had a lot going on.
What a full-time job for the last few years.
So you've been farming. That's why you've lost your voice.
I've been farming for so long. Yeah, I got into this habit of naming my animals after the noises the animals make, which actually requires a lot of creativity after the first one of those animals.
It's always sobering when you have to name Moo too.
Yeah, well, I've got Moo, and then I went for Maru.
Right, yeah.
And then I've got a Maw, because I thought that's kind of cowy as well, isn't it? But after that, things got really tricky. Yeah, because how do you spell Moo?
Moo 3000.
Yeah, Moo 3000. Yeah. Ooh.
There you go.
I'm going to write that down.
Who are you banging? Humans-wise in Stardew Valley.
Well, I didn't even know you could bang.
Right, yeah.
What do you mean humans-wise? Can you bang the animal?
I realised that. It sounded like I'd never played Stardew Valley, and I was like, well, speaking of the cat, is it Moo 2? Yeah.
Just if you're on Steam, go search on Steam, Glenn's mod for Stardew Valley. Download it. You can make with your animal.
Leah has just become my girlfriend.
Remind us who Leah is.
She lives in a little cabin next to Marnie's place. She's the artist.
Yeah.
Yes, and her mum looks just like her. Or there's an older woman who looks just like her.
Is there?
Yeah, I felt two of the girls in Stardew looked very, very similar to me.
There's Leah and Robin who I think look quite similar.
Yes, Robin. That's it. Yes, that's
it. What do you bribe her with? Is it like
wine? She looks wine.
So if you've never played one of these games, there's a whole village full of characters you get to sort of meet and talk to, and one of them sells you tools and one of them sells you seeds or whatever. But if you just bring them an object they like 10 times in a row.
You have to work out what they like and then bring it again and again. It's a horrible way to court somebody, actually. I am harassing Leah.
It's like giving offerings to a pagan god.
Yeah.
And you go, sometimes when I leave leaves, one of the villagers dies, and then other times they recover fully, and I don't know why. It's a gripe we get sent quite a lot, actually, is gift-giving systems where you are given no indication as to what might work and what might not. For instance, Pam, the alcoholic bus driver in Stardew Valley, you can give her booze and she'll be be absolutely fine. But with other people, you'll give them a nice gift and they'll be like for the girl who runs the bar, you could give her like a nice wheel of cheese and she'd be like, cheese? I wanted hot rubbish. You fuck. You fuck. And then the game turns off.
Minus 20 hearts.
She swings at you, the human being.
Yeah.
Your device cracks.
Yeah. And it has that thing where like blood appears around the corner of the screen, like you've been shot in Call of Duty. Well, Stardew Valley is great, but not much Breath of the Wild then?
No, I've only just got it this week.
Oh, great, okay.
Two main observations. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Scenery-wise, absolutely gorgeous. Very excited by the sort of scale and scope of the world. Second observation, one thing I hate more than constant climbing is constant climbing where a stamina bar is involved.
Yeah, it's people really debate this quite a lot in Zelda as saying like, well, it's part of it and it's sort of it sort of restricts you. That stamina bar can grow over the course of a game, so you will eventually be able to climb for ages and ages and ages.
I don't mind a stamina bar when I'm running.
Yeah,
I quite appreciate the realism of not just being able to run and run and run. Though if I'm playing a game where I can run and run and run, I like that too.
Yeah.
I love being able to run and run and run.
You love to frolic.
I love to frolic. I love to skip. But the climbing thing. Climbing is so... I've said this before. I will say it again. Climbing in a game is so tedious.
I don't mind the climbing in Zelda. I've come to terms. I've made my peace with the stamina mechanic. What bothers me is when it rains and you slide down and you cannot climb stuff when it's rainy. And you go, but there's nothing you can do to stop the rain from happening. So it's now just a game of, I'm waiting. The game is Link's waiting.
So it's just weather.
You're just waiting for the weather to change, and you just have to go. I need to. I guess that is maybe the game's way of going. Change your plans, do a different activity, and come back when it stopped raining.
No,
but sometimes you are on a plinth halfway up a cliff, and you're like, "Great, I'll leave that and I'll watch something else on TV. I'll watch a rerun of Bargain Hunt while I fucking wait for this to clear."
Yeah, Link's rainy day.
Yeah.
Indoor play for Link.
Yeah.
Get the board games out.
Link then loads up a version of Breath of the Wild, which you then play entirely as a minigame, but from a different save point. Yeah. And if the rain starts in that, I hate to tell you what happens.
You get a little notification after several hours that's like, you're starting to feel cooped up.
Yeah. You're listening to a lot of Adele.
Choose something else to do.
Yeah. Well, those are good choices. My big ones for the past month is I took with me to the Edinburgh Festival my PlayStation 5, and I took 3 boxed games. I took Monster Hunter Wilds, Elden Ring Nightreign, and Death Stranding 2. And I was like, is that going to be enough for a whole month? I only played Death Stranding 2, and I'm nowhere near finishing it. It is great to play a Kojima game. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I'll have more thoughts when I've actually finished it. But the main thing that I dedicated my time to a few days ago was the original Resident Evil 3 from 1999. And the reason why is it dropped on PlayStation Plus on their Classics collection. In 1999, I went to a New Year's Eve party. I was dragged to one when I was a child, and it was for some parents, friends of my parents, and I didn't know their daughter, I didn't know their son, and I had to go to this party, and my parents dressed me up absurdly smartly for this party, and I felt it was really
sailor suit,
awful, like really smart shirt and like school shoes, and everyone else is in like tracky bottoms, and it was like, I hate this so much. And I was just sent into like this kids' room where everyone was playing Resident Evil 3. It was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. But my parents came in to check on me about an hour later.
Such a 1990s memory.
Saw like Nemesis fucking choke holding Jill, and my parents were like, "What are you doing?" And like were like, "You cannot be watching that. You cannot be watching it in this room." And so I wasn't allowed in that room. And then so I just went into the main living room where all the adults were, and my parents were like, "You're a child, it's killing the vibe. Can you not be in here?" And it was like, but I can't, I'm not allowed in the other room. And I saw in the year 2000, I saw in the new Millennium, sat on a chair in the hallway on my own in this...
So whenever you hear
this purgatory,
whenever you hear like party like it's 1999, you go sit on a chair in a hallway. It was the
equivalent when you see in a film someone waiting outside their master's office. That's how I saw it in the new Millennium. Start as you mean to go on.
With your little bears.
Watching people ring in the Millennium through a glass pane.
Yeah, and then in the other room you just hear stars, and it was like, this sounds so cool. So it was finally exorcised those demons all those years later, and the game's fine. It's okay.
Yeah,
it was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was okay.
Imagine if it really frightened you now.
If I really right now, I was
Like-
like, they were right. And I go and sit myself in the corridor outside my flat just to sort of calm down. Just to calm down.
It not only scars you for the rest of your life, but actually scars your past as well.
Yeah.
It backdates it.
They were trying to save me.
Yeah, so I can finally give my review of 1999's Resident Evil 3 Nemesis 7 out of 10. Yeah, what have you been playing?
What do you think you'll do next? Do you think you'll actually go to a New Year's Eve party as well?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to that kid's bedroom and see how that goes. I thought I could watch you play games.
This
Like
year,
when
Glenn's
we
going to
were young.
socialise with some adults too.
Because I was staying at the Fringe with my sister, who's a fan. Hello.
Hi, Michelle.
Yeah.
Hey, Mish.
She has Game Pass. Or she and my brother-in-law have Game Pass. And so I tried out Dredge,
Yes, the spooky fishing game.
spooky fishing game. Now, I never liked fishing mini games, but this I liked. This I liked. I made the mistake of hanging out near a place where you could just you buy and sell fish as part of the game and use the money to upgrade your boat. And what's happening around you is like Lovecraftian horror. So there's like demon fish at night time, and if you stay out too late at night, you go mental because ghosts attack you and there's hallucinations.
But it's
and-
quite cartoony. It doesn't look like it's
Yeah.
an actual horror game.
It's
It's
not-
one of those things that's like deceptively creepy.
yeah, it's
What
creepy.
style of fishing are you doing?
All the styles you can do.
Do you know what the styles of fishing are?
Rod.
Yeah. Here we go.
I'm like, that question frightened me because I was like, does everyone know about fishing? And I don't know anything about.
Well, wait for it.
Yeah.
Rod,
Yeah.
big net.
Yeah.
Yes, rod and net.
Both
Yeah.
of them are in there.
Right.
They're both in there,
Big
baby.
net attached to boat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Trawling.
Trawling.
Yeah.
Trawling.
Oh yeah, there's a trolley. There's a trolley aspect.
Yeah.
And you're sort of rewarded by like creepy characters for finding forbidden rings and catching evil fish, and there's a kind of vague plot line.
Right.
It's not a game in which you are a character, but ultimately you are playing as a boat. You never get to leave and go onto the shore.
I was so relieved by that because when you dock your boat at Spooky Town number 3 and you try and find the jeweler, you don't have to then walk around a town hearing a load of NPCs and stuff. You can just click on the jeweler's house and talk to him immediately.
That's
and
nice.
Thank God.
It's quite nice for the Edinburgh Fringe as well because I think you can feel too much like a person.
Yeah.
So I think not sort of consciously, but I think there've definitely been times at the Fringe where I've thought to myself, I wish I was a boat.
And you've told audiences
I
that.
fucking wish I was a boat.
You've said that under your breath right before you
Yeah.
started the show.
Somebody else take my wheel.
Nah, I had this during one of my shows. Someone left to go for a piss during my show, and my show, the way the venue was laid out, if anyone needed to leave, they had to like thunder down the rostra. They had to thunder down the steps, and all you could hear was ja-jung, 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 like a horse was making its way down. And someone would sort of go to leave, and you sort of go, they have to walk across the stage to leave.
Oh, God.
And I'd always acknowledge it as being sort of like, are you walking out? And they're like, no, don't worry, I'm just going for a wee. And you go, in many ways, that's worse.
Yeah.
But if you sort of like, would you like to see Glenn Moore tonight? I'd rather be in a toilet. I'd rather be in a toilet.
I'd
Yeah.
rather watch urine.
Yeah.
And that was good fun, although I made a mistake, I think, because I thought, well, I'm sick of my boat being shit.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to, for days and days in a row in the game, sell thousands and thousands of crabs I catch.
Yes.
And the place where I sell the crabs is next to the place where I put the crab traps. So I'm just going to like it's homework.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then it just meant that my boat had like laser guns and fucking a time machine on it and things. And then the rest of the game was really dull because I could just zoom through.
I thought you were going to say
Everything
you'd
else.
screwed yourself over because I did that in the game. And then I was like, okay, I've sold 1,000 crabs or whatever. And then you go to the next mission and it's like, collect 100 crabs. And you're like, oh, fuck!
Yeah.
There is also that aspect of it. But that too. It just meant that it was like training yourself to be level 1,000 and then the next boss is like level 3 and you go, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just push him over.
Yeah, exactly. And I played a game, me and my sister and brother-in-law, we sort of all played it together actually, What Remains of Edith Finch.
That is one of
yeah.
the all-time great. It's one of the all-time greats. It's it's probably the best walking simulator, which always sounds like a crap term because it's such an unappealing sound of genre, isn't it?
Yeah.
Death Stranding 2 is kind of a walking sim. Ultimately, you are just controlling someone walking. But I thought that game was brilliant. What did you think of it?
I had no idea what it would be. It's sort of like a short story set into a game and also art. We almost don't have a word for it. I don't even know if I call it a game because you can't fuck it up.
You can't fuck it up, but you can just not progress. You do need to do things. It's not fully on rails. I quite like that the idea is it's someone exploring their old childhood home, and it's a family beset by various tragedies. And in each bedroom you go into, it flashes back to that relative, and you get to experience how that relative died. And it's very, very dark. It's like a girl was playing on a swing a bit too hard. That sort of stuff.
It's very like Final Destination-y, because the whole thing is that the family's cursed, and so there's a level of dread and throughout the game, but also quite a lot of lightness. It's very like emotionally therapized sort of dialogue and stuff. Everything's very like tragic but soothing. I don't really know how else to describe
And
it.
so, sorry to ask, where's the fun? Sorry.
I can't. It's like
Where's
a game.
the fun?
It's like a game you would make someone play to try and help them with something. It's like a game designed
get them to stay away from the swings.
by a doctor.
But
But it's beautifully designed. I mean, there's like little references and things. Like you'll flash back to the 70s and learn all about this guy who was the old uncle who lived in this bedroom.
Who's obviously dead now, yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
And then you'll see little references to his life in other places. And so it's a bit more like walking through maybe a short story combined with a painting.
Sounds like a museum.
Yes. Yeah, you're going through a sad museum.
it's got one of my favourite gameplay moments in any game, I've got to say.
Yeah.
Even though you said there wasn't a great deal of gameplay, you're playing as in one of the flashbacks. You play as a guy who works in basically a fish factory, and his whole job is just move a fish across, chop its head, move it across. And the game is getting you to use the analog sticks to just move a fish across, do it. It almost feels like playing a VR game, just swiping, whatever. And then he starts to daydream in the corner, and there's a little character, it looks like something out of Monument Valley, just starts moving around, and you use one of the other analog sticks to control that little character. And while you're simultaneously in reality chopping this fish using one hand, you're using the other hand to control this character, and this fantasy starts to take over the entire screen until you're basically playing as this person who's like a big king in some kingdom, and you're playing this whole fantasy while all the time chopping fish. And then inevitably it becomes a case of like, with that sense of dread you've been given throughout the game, while you holding a machete in your hands and daydreaming, something is going to go horribly wrong. I just thought it was incredible.
What happens?
He puts his head under it.
Does he?
Spoiler alert,
No.
he chops his own head off.
He chops his own head
He
off.
chops his own head off, yeah.
How?
Well, it's not accident. Well,
That is... I have never daydreamed like that.
Wouldn't it be funny?
I have never daydreamed so hard that I've put my own head on a
That's like-
chopping block and
that's
chopped
like-
my own head
it's
off.
like something that like a teacher would. You chop your own head off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a fishery. What? Have you not played What Remains of Edith Finch? But it'd be very funny if he did that, put his head under it, it chops his head off, and it says game over, and you have to retry. And you're like, what? I could have done it differently.
It's got a couple of plot holes in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The head chopping off.
I
thing.
pronounce
They-
it plotholeth.
There's a couple of plotholeth.
Yeah.
There's a couple of plotholeth. They try to explain that bit, but it's got that thing where
I would love to hear the explanation.
well, it's
Yeah.
available on Game Pass. You know that thing in films where someone has a dream or a delusion or a hallucination, and then somehow it's in their head, of course,
Yeah.
but somehow another character knows it.
Right.
So you go, well, how did you know that though? Because
Yeah.
you're not in their head.
Do you think the thing that happened in his head spilled out when he chopped his own head off?
And they
That's
went,
what happens to thoughts and dreams.
They found it all on the floor.
like,
That's
Yeah.
how you'd reassure someone over someone being beheaded back in the day.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
he got beheaded, you go, well, I guess his dreams have made their way into the sky.
Yeah. We scooped up all his
You're-
dreams.
you're right,
And we
Your
made
Majesty.
them come true.
Yeah, there were
Yeah.
ideas all over the pavement.
Yeah.
You're right, Your Majesty.
He wanted children.
Yeah. Also, it's got that thing where I have I will admit to a prejudice. There's a certain type
careful.
of
Because you've told me about this one.
You hate. Yeah. You can say it. Yeah. You can say it.
There's a certain type of slightly.
I'd just like to say, not all of Pierre's views represent our own.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, none of this one does, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right then.
When he tells you about the
Yeah, I'll get
but
it,
it's
I'll
just
get it,
this
I'll get
thing
it.
they do.
Oh,
There's a certain.
this
type.
is what we all have in common, actually.
Yeah.
We
That's
met
one
on that
thing.
forum.
Yeah. There's
Go on, Pierre.
There's a certain type of very kind of like very like slightly therapized and sort of I'm being thoughtful like NPR, This American Life voice.
Yeah.
Yes.
That a lot of American voice actors adopt when they're reading something that they know is supposed to be profound.
The narrator does sound like the narrator from Serial.
Yes.
Yes, I will admit that, yeah.
Yes, the narrator sounds like the narrator from Serial, and
Who in turn sounded like the narrator on Desperate Housewives.
yes,
Yeah.
it's that
Yes.
voice.
I've been listening to a podcast recently, and it's an interesting sort of true crime mystery thing.
Yeah.
But the guy is obsessed with fate.
Yeah,
You know,
there we go.
He not only was driving to this house that day, he was a vehicle of fate. It's like, no, he was a man in a car.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Rory Stewart.
Yeah. And they made.
That's the voice.
And then I've been listening to a different podcast, by contrast, which I'm absolutely loving, where everybody is so sort of like working class and normal that they'll describe like the most horrific scene that this police officer's come across, and then it will cut to him and he'll be like, "And I just knew it was going to be a long day." I'm like, I love that.
Yeah.
more.
It's good to come with it, just go,
Yeah.
and it was horrible,
Yeah,
and I didn't enjoy that.
I didn't enjoy that. And it didn't feel like fate.
So there's the
It
narrator.
felt like horrible.
It felt horrible and bad for me.
Yeah.
Because I was there. Yeah, I think I would have preferred a bit of a dose of that as opposed to a. I guess the real question about life is that whether. Just go, be quiet, be quiet. This is silly. Yeah, so I did enjoy it as an experience, but I looked online. People replay it.
I've played it twice.
What are you talking
There were
about?
like 4 years between playing it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I've played it twice, yeah.
That to me is
Just
crazy.
to clarify that beheaded thing, you were like, I need to see that again.
I think so. That was the one bit I wanted to play it for. And because also a game's it's like an hour.
Yeah, but still, it's like to me it's like rereading a short story.
Some
You've
people
read-
do
you've
that,
read
don't
it.
they?
Yeah, I know, but you've read it though. It's in your head, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I hate going over things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I read the game every year.
it took me a second to
Yeah, it
remember.
took me a
Because we're
second
talking
as
about
well.
gaming.
Yeah, I
it took
was
me a
like,
second to
what
remember what
game?
you were talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Sorry, because you keep forgetting to put sort of peacock feathers in your trilby and stuff, right?
Well, that's
Yeah.
what we've been playing.
Oh, that would be a fun fake game. The game.
The game.
Game.
Yeah.
To be fair, just every day bringing, hot rubbish to a bar lady because, she likes it.
Yes.
It's very the game.
Button Boys.
We should probably use this as an opportunity to talk about our first ever sponsor. We
Yeah.
have a sponsor. We are sponsored by Lost in Cult in today's episode. I came across Lost in Cult a few months back because they make physical editions of otherwise digital-only games.
Yes.
Which is amazing. So if you take something like Immortality, which was one of the most well-reviewed games of 2022, and was a really fun mobile game, and you could play it on other devices. You can get like a Switch version of it. Thank Goodness You're Here, one of the breakout indies of last year. Excavation of Hobbs Barrow, which is a great game, which the comedian Alistair Beckett King is in the end credits of because he worked on it.
Well, and thank goodness you're here. It's full of comedians that we know.
Absolutely, it's
Yeah.
absolutely full of them.
We love this because we've talked at length about how we love to touch stuff.
Yeah.
Real
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Real
The
things.
The physical joy of having something in your hand, especially if you're being given it as a gift or gifting it to someone.
Yeah.
Having something beautiful that you can have at home.
Yeah.
I love seeing all of my physical games on a shelf. I love seeing it's so exciting to just look at something and go, which one of those am I going to play?
Which
They're all
one of those will I
displayed.
put the wrong disc in?
Oh yeah.
But
Where is it? It's a puzzle within a puzzle.
Yeah. Lost in Cult have a new making of Alan Wake Design Works book. I loved Alan Wake 2. It just blew everyone away because usually when you get to sort of Game Awards period in like December, it's usually been pretty set for the previous few months of like which games are the best games of the year. And Alan Wake 2 was quite a late release the year it came out, and it just blew everyone away. Sequel to the original, which came out in the sort of Xbox 360 era, about Alan Wake, the aforementioned horror writer who's in a town called Bright Falls where spooky goings on happen. And it's that perfect sort of small town America, diners, tall pine trees, very, very cozy but very eerie. And it was just a very, very stylistic game in which you were sort of flicking between the regular real world and also this sort of darker world. And the art direction was absolutely phenomenal. So the idea of this all being compiled in an art book is a great thing.
So it's not just like the kind of coffee table book of the game. You can also go for the deluxe edition, and that's got the book and also like props made real from the game, like a napkin from the diner or like a Coffee World poster. And
Coffee World is a theme park that's based around coffee in the game. It's the world's first coffee-themed theme park.
Big
I
queue
love
for
it.
the toilets.
Yeah, but it's just loads of concept art, which is always a really fun thing.
But props made real, like having your own sort of Indiana Jones whip if you liked Indiana Jones.
There's
or
a
whatever.
map I love a map.
There's a map.
I love a map.
Folding out a real game map. Yes.
Just to clarify, the book is basically a big deep dive into not just Alan Wake 2, but also the original Alan Wake and its spin-off as well, American Nightmare. We're giving you a code. We're giving you a code which allows you to check them out and get 5% off. This is running until October the 17th. But if you use the code, and I think this is randomly generated, this is my favourite discount code we've ever been able to give anyone. If you type in Button Alan, which was one of your dad's nicknames down the mill, wasn't it?
Well, he was.
That's not randomly generated. That's us and Alan.
But on Alan.
Yeah.
Like
That's a horrible choice that we are going to keep running into.
But on Alan.
Yeah.
Like Sue's anal bum party.
Yeah.
Sue's album party. So we've done our own Sue's anal bum party.
Yeah.
It's But on Alan.
Yeah.
Easy to remember, impossible to forget. But on Alan.
Yeah.
But on Alan. Put your butt on Alan.
Lost in Cult, is this what you dreamt of when you agreed to work with us on this? They're excellent guys doing excellent work, so check them out on the Lost in Cult website. The first 500 orders, also, you get signed by Sam Lake and the team. Sam Lake, of course, famous for being Max Payne's face from back in the day. Iconic face. But regardless, if you just want a regular copy or the deluxe ones, you can find it on the Lost in Cult website. And if you use a special code, Button Alan, then you get a 5% discount. That's running till October the 17th.
Perfect, just in time for Christmas.
And we'll be back with the rest of the episode in just a second.
Button Boys.
The main topic of the day is... Obviously, we usually end our episode in a lot of our Patreon, which you can sign up for, by the way, because you get an extra episode every single week. But also, if you join the free tier of our Patreon, you get access to our Discord, which is just one big discussion forum app where people are always talking about games. And also, that's where we're basically sourcing people's answers to each question each week. And the question we've been putting out is basically, because we usually do our gripes, very minuscule, pernickety things that bother us, tropes in games we want to see done away with. I just thought we'll start going into, September in a few days with just a bit more positivity and just those little tiny little tropes, idiosyncratic things that just make you go, yes, please.
Yeah.
Just real yes, please moments. They just do it for you and you can't really explain why. And the one that really did it for me, ultimately, at first, what got me thinking about this was in a game like Spider-Man or a game like Arkham where you're taking on loads of mobs of henchmen, the moment where you know you've knocked out the last henchman because the game just slows down slightly in a whoosh sort of way. And there's a real satisfaction to that. In the same way I used to really love how on the ad breaks on TV, when one of the ads paused just slightly longer than the other ones at the end, you knew that meant the TV show was going to start up again.
Oh, yeah.
It's that fucking feeling. I really like
go,
that. Here we go again. We've done it.
Simpsons are coming back. What's going to happen tomorrow?
Kilroy's on in a second. But that just really did it for me, and it just gets me in a way I can't really sort of articulate. So just those little moments, the more niche, the better.
Yeah.
All right. What gets you going?
Realistic, tiny physics.
Okay, like someone actually got in touch with regards to physics.
Yeah.
Jazz on Discord said when a player realistically walks up steps, when they've individually animated, they're taking each step at a time, not just gliding up what is essentially a slope with triangles.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean, or is it just other
things like that? But also,
you're going to say a World War II gun, aren't you?
Yeah. Yes, it's gonna clock. It's gonna clock.
Yes, gun time.
Activate the gun alarm. We should get like a sort of paper mache gun that drops from the ceiling when I start talking about.
Edit in a machine gun sound, and then we never say anything again.
I thought we'd get an old air raid siren to play and really scare your neighbours.
Yes. Yeah. Kill a few of the cats. Yes. So when you see like the shell casing eject from the weapon or bullet holes in the walls,
that's thoroughly good.
Just where you go,
yeah.
they've really tried to make this seem realistic, and it's not quite the same as a destructible environment because that's not always very easy to do, right? Because you can't just destroy the map, and then that can lead to glitches. You know, the thing you need is now under some rocks that you made by blowing something up.
Yeah.
But yeah, little physics like that.
I think the first
real shoelaces on a shoe instead of being painted on.
Oh
shoe.
God,
Yeah,
I
they've
don't
just
think
got
I've ever
little
even
blocks on their
noticed
feet.
that.
Yeah.
Rocks that are rocks as opposed to rocks painted on the floor.
Oh yeah, when rocks sort of like fall away.
Skittering
They'd-
away.
yeah, they'd
Yeah,
move.
shale in Uncharted, but
Yeah.
especially in the Highlands level, that when you accidentally knock some stone loose, or you slide down, you see each individual pebble, and you go, "That's real Naughty Dog stuff." Death Stranding 2 has this. You can cause avalanches,
Yeah.
just from knocking over like one stone, and then it just builds and builds and builds.
Yeah.
I was going to say one from Uncharted that I observed, and I don't normally pick up on stuff like this, but there's if you're walking down some stairs or something and he gets too close to a wall, he'll just kind of put his hand on the wall.
That's
nice.
excellent.
Just kind of
That's
like
excellent.
just kind of pushes it, like just moves by that wall. It's just a little human moment.
That's
and I
nice.
thought that's for nobody other than the realism of the thing. It's just
Yeah, because
great.
it means
Yeah.
the character is there, as opposed to sometimes in games it feels like the level is moving around the character, like a Jamiroquai video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tet879 said, any game where you can jump in the air and slam down to damage enemies is a real yes, please.
Oh, I
Anything
love
with like an
slam
area
down.
of effect. I love that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Doom the Dark Ages, which came out a few months ago, has this. You can try this on Game Pass yourself, but it had this lovely element. Every time you just went from like one like high cliff and you just walked off a cliff, you have no fall damage, by the way, so you're absolutely fine. When you stomp down, you just felt the earth crack. You can hear the earth cracking in a real dull echo, but also you get to see the dust cloud pushing ahead in front of you and vaporize weaker enemies. They all just die instantly in one go. That feels thoroughly good because it's really nice to see an atomic bomb from the perspective of the atomic bomb. You never get to see it that way round. But you get to see it pushing away from you.
You know, but we always have to watch it from afar.
We have to watch it from afar. They don't
hate
let us,
it.
or not look directly into
the
its
amount
light.
of times I've thought to myself, what does the atomic bomb feel?
yeah.
You're an empath, so you look at that footage and you go, "What about the exploding one?"
Yeah, the first victim.
He fell over in front of everyone.
He fell over in front of everyone. Nobody helped.
Yeah.
Nobody ran to him.
Yeah.
They ran away.
Yeah.
This is your most fucked opinion you've had so far. Yeah.
That's good.
Tell me one thing that's fucked about this.
Yeah.
I really like, this is a real yes please for me, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man Miles Morales, swinging obviously feels amazing. That's a huge part of the game. But sometimes when you when you're fucking both Mary and Gwen, but sometimes when you swing just low enough that you hear the traffic and the game rumbles slightly because you are just skimming the roofs of cars.
Yeah.
That is really good because you know Spider-Man's being a fucker. And he's like, if you were a bus driver and you saw that coming towards you, you'd think that was the most dive-bombing suicide attempt you'd ever seen. You never see it from the driver's perspective of, oh, fuck, and they get under the
Yeah,
dashboard.
you'd swerve into so many pedestrians.
Yes.
After a while, do you think in New York they would be like, we can always tell a tourist because they duck when Spider-Man comes. Like, it's like a thing. They go,
Yeah,
you're
it's
not
like,
really,
it's like a
They
naked
put signs
cowboy.
up, watch out for Spider-Man.
you're not a real New Yorker until you stop ducking when Spider-Man nearly takes your fucking head off.
What's the moment you felt like a New Yorker?
Yeah.
When I flipped off Spider-Man, when he took my haircut, bit of hair gel on his feet, and I just
I heard that people who live like around the Soho area or go to Soho like loads are like, oh, it's like seeing Suggs.
That's also true of Bill Nye, isn't it?
I see Bill Nye so often.
Yeah.
I see because I watch Love Actually every
in
week.
the mirror.
But I see. I kind of live a bit near him. I cannot stress enough. Very different socioeconomic situations. The area he lives in is significantly nicer than me. I find with London, various districts, as a friend of mine,
Other
Tom
side of a
put
train
it,
track, right?
they change with the subtlety of an open world game, and you suddenly go from the wealthiest area you've ever been part of to where I live. And Bill Nye's always walking around. Yeah.
I once ate next to him at a Wagamama's, but it was one of those tables that are connected. So we were basically having a meal.
You were having...
We were talking because he was so close to me.
You had dinner with Bill Nye.
Yeah, I did.
That's great.
It was really weird because I sat down. It was my partner at the time had gone to the bathroom. We were being showed to our table. I sat down. He was diagonal to me, but there was like a tiny little wall between us, and our tables were essentially a table of four. And I sat down, looked at him, and he went, "Hello."
Whoa!
And I went, "Oh, hello."
So he approached you.
Yeah, and then my partner came back from the bathroom, and I was sat talking to Bill Nye. Yeah.
Wow. My sister got chatting to him on a train, but he started the conversation.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think he's desperately lonely.
More people need to talk to Bill Nye.
Yeah, and I said, "I'm really sorry. I'm with my partner."
Yeah. If you could give us a
Could you leave us alone, please? Yeah. No, he was really nice, man. He was really
No. This is now the
was a
first Bill
sweetheart.
Nye slandering podcast.
Yeah.
Fucking
He
creep.
was a real sweetheart.
Yeah.
I think the Spider-Man game has a load of really satisfying mechanics. The when you, I think you unlock it, but when you unlock just being when you're like swinging and then you can like boost off of something.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Off a little pipe on a chimney.
Yeah,
We go,
yeah.
that's got to go right up his bum. That's got to hurt. Let's see if we've got to stab his feet or go up his bum. That's how people get impaled on like fences
Never
and stuff.
thought that in my life. Never been playing that game and thought I should really go.
Oh, that's
off
what
his
I was trying to do. I was trying to fix.
Yeah.
I was trying to get him fixated. What a humiliating way for him to die. We haven't seen Spider-Man in a while, and then a few tenants in a building complain of the smell on the roof. And they go, and he's impaled like a fucking warning you'd get in London in the 1600s. That's what it's this guy for.
Just in his bum. Just there hanging.
The idea of him waddling into an emergency room with a pipe up his ass.
Yeah.
Going, I got it while taking a picture of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Uncle Ben telling him with great power comes great responsibility. He meant just with responsible sex stuff.
You have an incredibly powerful ass.
Yeah, maybe he does. That's where spiders normally knit their web from.
Yeah, they've got huge butts.
Big bums with little like nitty teeth.
Everyone talks about what comes out, but what goes in?
What goes in?
Yeah. Does Spider-Man have to eat more different things because he's expelling something from his body, right?
He's gossamer. Yeah.
Well, it depends which Spider-Man you're talking about, right? Because some of them make their little shooters themselves.
So in No Way Home, where there were all the different Spider-Mans, there was like Tobey Maguire, and then there was obviously the Tom Holland one. If they just made only Andrew Garfield's one a purely ass-based Batman, and he's like, you can do it from your wrists, and they're like, yeah. And they're like, when do you do it from me? He's like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
He's really embarrassed as they're all fighting, and he's like, oh,
Yeah,
God.
I'm gonna do kind of like a no web day kind of thing. Yeah, if that's all right.
I'm still really strong. I'll do lots of punching.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm not going to do what I do with
It's
my web.
so normal back at home. Yeah.
And he doesn't, and then he sees like, wait, you tie them up with web, and then you take them to the police station. I inject them with venom that dissolves them.
So sad as well. He's the only one whose girlfriend's dead, and he's got web coming out of his ass.
Yeah, it's like I had Willem Dafoe wrapped up and dissolving painfully for weeks.
Yeah.
It was. The NYPD said it was one of the cruelest deaths they've ever seen.
Yeah, until he got gloopy enough so I could eat him.
I'm wanted.
Yeah.
Where I'm from. I'm hated.
People are very afraid of me. Very afraid of me.
Gloopy enough so that
And I have to try and
he's
trick
checking
people.
him every day. Not quite yet.
when he swoops down in NYC,
Couple
it's
more
like,
days on that gloop.
It's like the Nazgûl. Everyone's crouching under cars.
He's swinging from his ass.
And he gives me like, "Your
Yeah.
friendly neighborhood Spidey." Ah!
Please don't dissolve me. Please. J. Jonah Jameson got turned into a fucking Capri Sun by him.
He's actually one of the most rational newsreaders. Like,
This is very bad. We need to track this
he
freak.
comes onto the news wearing like a black tie. Like he's announcing the Queen's Spider-Man has unfortunately returned. we did get another good Spider-Man adjacent one. This is from Hugo Samorio. This isn't just specific to Spider-Man, but this is a great yes please thing that happens to also come up in Spider-Man. Characters being labelled just as question marks until the game tells you what their name is, and then it turns into their name.
Ooh,
So with the
yeah.
dialogue at the bottom, and the example he gave, I think this is excellent when this happens. And there's one where it just says you get a phone call from work, and boss just shows up as boss. But then when you arrive and it's Doc Ock, it says it then turns into Doc Ock, and
Love
it's
that,
like a mini twist within the game.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Pokemon had that. A wild question marks appeared, or sometimes it would be like question mark. It would be Giovanni or whatever.
You have
It
to
would be
learn
like a
it,
mystery boss. You don't know who this mysterious person is.
Until it's a Pokemon or a trainer.
Both.
Right. Okay. Well, the Pokemon gives it away because they say their name, don't they? It's all they say.
They
this is old
love
enough that,
introducing themselves.
When you're listening on Game Boy Advance or whatever, just be like, blah, blah, and like horrible like pixel noise, you know.
Yeah.
And you go, right, I guess that's not Pikachu.
And even the game is still doing question marks because the game's like, I did
I
not.
didn't.
Yeah. Well, how do you spell that? Can you spell your name for me, please?
A horrible discordant noise.
Yeah.
I love it in Horizon when you shoot the canisters off of a machine. So you have to Have you played Horizon?
No.
Yeah. So not all of them, because you do fight people, but the sort of antagonist beasts are machines, but they're like dinosaurs made out of
They're
metal.
modelled on them.
And often a lot of them have these kind of canisters which might be fire-based or acid-based, and you can knock them off. In fact, actually, there's a lot of the mechanics of the machines that you can knock off,
Right.
and it's very satisfying to see it fall away as you're firing arrows
Because
at
you've
them.
done a really good shot.
Yeah.
You're basically exposing just this exoskeleton.
Yeah.
So the way you take enemies down isn't just reducing a life bar, you're making parts of them weaker. And sometimes you remove a large bit of plate armor that might expose basically the equivalent of a heart.
Yeah.
And you go, if I can aim at that and slow down enough, I can get it. But the canisters are great because sometimes if you shoot those canisters and it is like it's full of some icy liquid, it then coats the beast with what was in the canister.
Freezes the beast.
Yeah, it's like if you smacked a friend's backpack and it was full of yogurt. He said relatedly.
And then shot them in the heart
Yes.
with an arrow.
Just placing this in a sort of real world scenario.
Yeah.
You've got that friend of yours who's always got a backpack full of yogurt.
Yep.
Yeah. And you shoot it with an arrow.
What I was thinking was initially relatable of someone who's got yogurt in their bag explodes, but then I thought that wouldn't explode as enough as in Horizon Zero Dawn, so I was like, I guess the
'cause they'd need to
backpack
be
would have to
covered
be
in
full
yogurt.
to the brim.
Yeah.
And they've decanted loads of yogurt. Like their whole morning routine or night before isn't making sandwiches for their packed lunch. They're just squeezing frube after frube into their rucksack and
They've
being, I'll put
chosen
that in the
frube
fridge.
as well. There are
Not a big onken.
there are larger containers for yogurt, but they love a mixed frube. Yeah.
They call it the mega frube. They drink it throughout
It takes
the day.
all night long.
Yes.
And they do it like you'd squeeze the end of a tube. Basically, they're squeezing the bottom of the backpack to move the yogurt upwards into their
Yeah, into their open face.
This is a friend of mine. Yeah, this is a friend of mine. Yeah.
And you know this about them. So when you shoot this backpack with an arrow, you have a bow and arrow.
Yes. Yeah.
You have a bow and arrow.
Because we're mates.
Yeah.
If anyone ever bumps into them on the tube, terrible.
They're getting a lot of seats to themselves.
Yeah.
Fires through the zips.
Yeah.
I love leveling up more than once in one go. So let's say you're quite weak, you take down an enemy. That is, bling, bling, bling.
Yeah.
Happens in Final Fantasy sometimes. You just go, we are eating well tonight. Oh, man. I don't even have anything to say about that. It's just that is great.
Actually, another thing I was playing on my phone, Codenames, the board game.
Oh yeah.
But on the,
yes,
it's
I
like
remember you saying,
$4.99 on the iPhone App Store. Play with strangers or play with friends. Really satisfying leveling up system and achievement system. Like insanely for like an app based on a board game. Incredibly well
How
designed.
does the leveling up work?
There's points for certain, like winning a game.
But in what way do you become stronger? I've only ever played the board
You
game.
unlock different modes. So there's modes where you can like reverse moves, or there's like a Minesweeper mode. So it's like a much more. There's like 7 or 8 different modes.
Because the premise of this board game is if you're playing, I've played Codenames Duet, which is just a 2-player.
Yeah.
Is you're given, I don't know, like 30 words, and your partner has a list of words, and you have a list of words, and they are targets that you have to get, and you have to try and by using a singular word yourself, give them a clue to as many of your words as possible.
Yeah. So the other day I gave a clue strings, and that was for racket, and also sound, and also web.
Lovely.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But a lot of the people online, I will say, if you're listening to this and you're not based in America, a lot of the people playing online are in America. I gave the clue expensive. The first thing they ticked was hospital. Depressing.
Oh no.
And I went,
oh God, I'm
that is
so
depressing.
sorry.
Yeah, that's what you get in like some sort of cautionary tale. That's what you get in like a cartoon in the NYT.
That is a thing about different countries, culture or way of dealing with medicine. But it would be so depressing if you gave a clue that was like, unhappy, and they were like, right, childhood, marriage, work, and they're like, well, no, I'm not.
Lost hope.
Yeah, you can really show your ass play this game.
Yeah.
So I recommend that. It's good fun.
Yeah, if you were sort of like the word is spouse, and you sort of like I've taken divorce, and yoga instructor and Kevin.
Yeah.
Exploding a zombie's head in Resident Evil.
Yeah.
This one is obviously very relevant to something that's happened to me in the last week.
You
But
exploded that guy's head.
exploding someone's head after his bag of yogurt. Shooting zombies in Resident Evil can be so frustrating because there is no correlation between sometimes a zombie will go down in 3 bullets, sometimes they'll go down in 8, and you don't have many bullets. That's the point of a survival horror genre. But if you do it in Resident Evil 2 Remake, for instance, if their head explodes, they're down for good. And there is such an intense satisfaction of that zombie's out the way. I really love... permanent death in a game and permanent tidying up is always a really nice thing.
Yeah.
So knowing that whenever I return to this area, that zombie is down for good. A similar one, or a similar yes please for me, is usually in stealth games where you can dispose of a body fully permanently.
Yeah.
Hitman, you drop someone in a wardrobe. Commandos, you drag someone in a bush. The body is then invisible to no one can ever find that person ever again. Eric's Home, The Stolen Dream, that stealth game I was talking about on here a few weeks ago, for the most part, when you dispose of a body, you drag them around a corner and until they're just sort of out of sight. And that makes me feel stressed because I'm worried someone's going to discover them.
Yeah.
So it's a real yes please of like, they're out of sight, out of mind, they're gone. And it makes you want to tidy up the map a bit more. Like Commando Sniper Elite, I love just eventually not even focusing on the main mission, just going, there are no more Nazis in this map. We've gotten rid of every single one. I've done my... I've swept. I've power wash simulated the game.
I've tidied.
I've tidied.
Yeah.
I've
Done
tidied
the
up.
laundry.
It's really neat. And I find that quite stressful about Dark Souls, even regardless of the fact that these guys can respawn. If you've cleared a room, like specific one, just pre-gargoyles on the roof, that room full of...
Like 30 little guys.
Yeah, I always think of grobblers now. You said
Grobblers, 30 grobblers.
Every time
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see them, I call them grobblers now. And they're just piled on the floor, and you just also they have no weight to them after they've died, so you can just sort of step through them, and they just kind of they move like feathers out of your way.
Yeah, but they don't cling to you. They
So
stick to you, and it's
many-
embarrassing.
grab-
You kind of wipe them
You're
off your
like,
shoe.
Oh God, yeah, it's awful. I don't like that. It's very stressful. I want them to dissolve or something.
Oh, weirdly, I was
Yeah.
going to say as one of my old years is I like the consequences of your actions. I like it when all the bodies are piled. You get to see a handiwork.
Oh, we can
They're
cut
all there.
that out, can't we? We can sort of isolate that as a clip. I like it when the bodies are piled.
Yeah.
See
Yeah.
my handiwork.
Yeah, but there's something really nice in Hotline Miami. The game sort of makes you face what you've just done because it's a really frenetic, top-down, insane, bloody, bursting into apartments, killing loads of henchmen. And then when you've killed the boss at the end of a level, the game, instead of just going level complete, it makes you walk back out the building to complete the level. So you have to walk past through this now completely silent apartment full of all these dead people that you didn't even consider when you were killing
That's
them.
like an action film. That's
Yes,
quite
exactly
good.
that.
Yeah.
It's really stylistic and it's really nice. But it makes you face up to it, but also you get to go, here's all the work I did.
There's a bit in Little Big Planet 3 because in each bit you unlock like a new special gadget tool, and one of my favourites is you get a helmet with a little hook type thing on the top of it, and you can scoot across along sort of these rails.
That's good.
Rails and zip
fun.
lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that really speeds up that movement in quite a satisfying way. Also,
Yeah.
Split Fiction, we just played the bit with the motorbikes. That was great fun. Loved it. You've not got there,
I've
I
not
can
got
tell
there
by your
yet.
face.
Not got there yet.
Well, that's something to look forward to.
Zip lines are always great, especially in a game where they didn't quite expect you to use the zip line to get to that bit. If you have like a crossbow that shoots your own zip line.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Battlefield 2 Special
Build
Forces.
your own zip line.
Yeah, that feels thoroughly good. Death Stranding, you can make your own zip line. Bioshock Infinite had a really good hook line where basically you hung a hook over a zip line and you just we went on a rail.
Yeah.
And it felt really, really good because you're like, I can focus on other things all the while skateboarding. The coolest thing I could possibly do.
Oh, that's a lovely thing that I used to like in Tony Hawk's was luging on the cars.
Yeah, that's
Grabbing
nice.
onto the back of a car.
Oh,
Luging
my
around.
final yes is orchestral music.
That's not game related, is it?
yeah.
So yeah.
I love Brahms.
I love Brie. Orchestral music, like Medal of Honor, Allied Assault, and it's kicking in at exactly the right time. You've got like hundreds of like drums and brass section and stuff, all like rising, soaring strings.
Yeah.
It just makes it so cinematic and incredible.
Yeah, real choice music for a game that there's certain Sackboy levels and Little Big Planet levels. Sackboy in particular does this really well with like modern music, pop songs, where it times the level to the music.
Yes.
So
That's great.
Everything's moving in time to the music.
Yeah, even if you're not, the background stuff.
Yeah.
Astrobot had this as well.
It's very satisfying.
That was good. Broadbean on Discord said this, songs kicking in at specific moments.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption, the first one, where you go from America to Mexico and Jose Gonzalez kicks in, and it's just a really cool song that feels very out of place because you go, this is clearly a modern day singer and it's clearly a modern day song. But that and the game sort of goes quiet around you, because I think as well when those moments happen it feels quite safe because you know there are going to be no enemies because they're not going to interrupt this cinematic moment. Death Stranding 2 has this sometimes. The original Death Stranding has this. Sometimes you'll go over the top of the hill in a buggy, and then suddenly the name of a song and the title of the artist sort of comes up in the corner of the screen, and you're like, I'm now safe for the next 3 minutes,
really
because
takes
that's like Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. Obviously, we're recording this just as Delta's coming out, the remake of Snake Eater, the infamous ladder, where you climb up a ladder for literally 3 minutes and the theme tune of the game plays, and you're just there for 3 minutes listening to this song.
Ugh, climbing. I hate climbing. I hate climbing because the choice has been made for how tall this thing is.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. How about as a yes please sliding down a ladder? That's always good. If there's a really satisfying that feels really nice.
Yes. Much better than slow descent.
There was a Lord of the Rings game. I can't remember what it would have been called. It might have just been called Lord of the Rings, but I don't think it was, for PlayStation 2, where you're doing the Battle of Helm's Deep and the ladders are filled with orcs and urukai, and you can kick them off. And they smash down into the crowds of other orcs trying to get
great.
up. That's lovely.
Yeah, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 had that holding X down to push a ladder over. It's really just as someone's jumping up the top. That's really good. Astratus is a really good one on Discord. A main menu that changes depending on where you are in the game. Last of Us 2 opens with a boat. There's just a boat and it's murky and dark. And then when you finish the game, it's just a completely different setting. But games where it just sort of Indiana Jones has this. Indiana Jones will take you to the main menu will be where you are in the game, and when you press continue or whatever, it will then just suddenly zoom into his head, and you're now in control of his eyes. Is how I see the game.
Just his eyes.
That's the only bit I'm controlling. Yeah. That is weird. That right stick to eyes.
Right, right stick to eyes. Left stick to feet.
I think we've been very positive. I think we've been abnormally positive. More
down
than
to
we
some
normally.
positive energy.
Yeah. And I can feel that puzzle of love in the room.
I feel radiant.
Yeah.
I feel radiant. Yeah. I feel seen. So why don't we be horrible?
Yeah.
Let's get gripey. Riley Lemon had this one. This is on the Discord.
Riley Lemon.
And I really like this gripe from Riley Lemon. Loading screen hints and tips, where the advice is either so vague and patronizing, like when you've died for the 40th time in Last of Us or whatever, and it says, remember to use health packs and you go, what do you how do you think I got
yourself.
here? How do you think I got here?
Yeah.
At a certain part of the game, once you get to like the third section of a game, it should start removing tips. Like for really asinine ones.
Yes.
Press circle to hide.
Ellie will die if she's attacked.
Bullshit like that, where you go, that shouldn't have been a tip.
Think it says
that shouldn't have been a tip for anyone.
Yeah.
And then they should start replacing it with more niche stuff. And then they've said as well on the flip side is sometimes it gets really, really specific. When Dark Souls, if you are stuck in a really difficult moment, will just recommend you a fucking axe that you cannot access until 11 bosses down the line.
Yeah, that's not specific to where you are at all.
No.
I think they should just give all those tips should just be like advice for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of like
make sure you're keeping up with your credit card repayments.
Yeah. Insoles.
You'll
can
need
be
a good
used.
credit score when you want to become a homeowner.
bread actually lasts longer when not in the fridge. You go, what?
Insoles.
Cyberpunk.
You're like, that is useful.
Insoles could be used to correct your posture. Things along these lines.
Did you know Susan Sarandon attended High Street High School between 1977? Just gives you like little facts.
That would be less annoying than some of the tips where you're like, that doesn't do anything for me.
There's no middle ground in Dark Souls so far between like swords are for cutting. And then it'll be like, Azeroth, the Grand Wizard. And it'll flash up for a second. There'll be like 11 paragraphs about a ring that you can maybe find.
This ties
pointless.
This ties into a personal gripe I have of loading screen tips just do not work now in the current age of consoles.
Yeah.
Because, and what the gripe is, bring back press X to continue as a function you get on a loading screen, because it really bothers me when a loading screen ends and it just goes straight into the game, because you get halfway through reading a tip being like, remember, it is vital to... And you go, what?
Yeah.
Your weapons can be 10 times as powerful if you...
Yeah, and you go, they didn't even load the word.
Yeah. The lives of you and your children and your children's children depend...
Yeah.
It's gone.
Whereas, like, I almost missed back in the day of the PS3 days where I'd spend 5 minutes waiting for Skyrim to reload, just rotating a vase over and over again from every angle. And you'd basically have a breakdancing column just on the screen.
I would prefer to a loading tip when it used to be, I don't know what game it was, but whenever you died, it'd be like sort of a sad clown or something like that. You just see like a miserable face, and it'd be like, you died, and then it's loading, and then it comes back.
Yeah, don't give me advice. Be like,
I'd rather you just join me in my emotion.
Or like in the original Call of Duty single players, it would have quotes from, history, sort of Churchill quotes, or like quotes from Cicero and stuff.
That's up your alley, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's such a modern warfare thing, isn't it? Yeah,
But originally it was like, oh, this is like set in a very realistic, modern war, and there's an aspect to this which you go, yes, okay, that quote makes sense. The trouble is that now it'll be like, we've got to get the lasers out of the spaceship before the zombies can eat the fucking... And then there'll be a quote from Churchill saying...
it really belittles it.
And you go, no, you don't get to quote this if you make a fucking zombie laser game.
How do they decide which quotes are okay to use and which ones aren't? Because do you ever sort of die and then suddenly it's sort of like, I'm French, and it's just like, oh.
That would make more sense for the World War II one.
Yeah, you died so you get a bad quote.
But it'd be a thing where it's like, like an Uzbek teenager on an insane amount of Adderall just kind of backflipped over you and used his Nicki Minaj boots to strangle you to death. And then a quote from Sun Tzu's The Art of War comes up.
Maybe they should
You
make
think,
it
right,
more...
what did Sun Tzu say about this then?
I think a lot of those quotes are just forever relevant, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
They should make them more pop culture. So, like, if you don't deserve me at my best.
Yeah.
War never changes, really.
War never changes.
At its core.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what Nicki Minaj boots you're wearing. Death is death. Killing is killing. War is war.
That is a good... That's good. I'd like that.
Yeah, stick that in the game.
Yeah.
TM.
Activision, if you're listening. Well, we're going to move on to some more gripes, but we're going to take things over to the Patreon section. Remember, you can sign up. You get a new episode every single week in which we talk more gripes, more gaming chat, and also our weekly playthrough of Dark Souls. If you sign up to the free tier of the Patreon, you can access our Discord. So when we put out punts a couple of nights before we record a new podcast, you can have your say on episodes as well. And if there's anything you want to contribute to what you liked in games, not just gripes, but also the things you were like, I want to see more of that. That was a yes, please moment. I really like it. We're going to do more of those episodes as well. So please keep those coming as well. So join our Patreon.
Tell us what's upset you.
Yeah.
And tell us what's upset you as well. In the meantime, guys, thank you so much for joining me as always. Follow us on our social media as well as the Button Boys social media. You can find us in the episode description. Big thanks to Sarah. Big thanks to Pierre. Big thanks to our producer, Ben Drayton. Big thanks to our music from Jazzy Emu. And we'll see you next week.
Button Boys.